Hello, in this tutorial we're going to install a fresh copy of Joomla 1.5. We're running at a little bit smaller screen resolution than normal. Hopefully it'll be clear for you to view the lesson. This tutorial also assumes that we've already uploaded our Joomla 1.5 installation files to our web server and we've already created our database. When we browse to the installation folder in our new location, we begin the process of installation, and it's broken down into 7 steps. The first step asks us to choose the language which is strictly for the installation itself and has nothing to do with the language that your website will ultimately be in. English is chosen by default, as is the same setting for all Joomla core components. We'll go to step 2, the pre-installation check. From this point, Joomla runs out to the web server and makes sure that all of your settings are correct prior to installing. This gives you an opportunity to go back and change them and then click on the Check Again icon. In this case, we're ready to go, so we're going to move on to step 3, the license. This is our general public license, and of course we have to agree to this if we continue. And we're going to go ahead and continue and agree to that. And that brings us to step 4, our database settings. On the database configuration page, there's 5 basic pieces of information that the Joomla installation package is asking us for. It's asking us for the database type. In almost all cases, the default is just fine. Our host name, our username, our password, and the name of the database. We'll go ahead and fill in our host name. We'll move to the next setting, and we'll fill in our username. We'll move to the password field, we'll enter our password, and finally we'll enter our database. And there's a few additional settings down below, but we don't need those for our basic installation. We'll scroll back up to the top and move on to step number 5, the FTP configuration. In the FTP configuration, we're going to go ahead and click Yes to enable the FTP file system layer. In this case, we've already set up an FTP user on our control panel on the back end of our web server. So we've gone ahead and entered our FTP user ID and the password and the FTP root path. We could also choose to auto-find the FTP path, and it says these settings are valid. We can also simply verify the FTP settings while we're here before we continue. And it looks like we're ready to go. We're going to continue to step number 6, the configuration. On the main configuration, step 6, I'm going to scroll over a little so we can see the remainder of our fields. There's a few pieces of information we install here. The site name, your email address, your administrator password, and whether to install the sample data, which I always suggest to the beginners. And that's pretty much it. So we filled in our site name, our email, our admin password, and we verified it. We're going to scroll down and we're going to click on the button Install Sample Data. And we're done with that. We've finished step 6 and we're going to continue to step 7. And step 7 says we're finished. Congratulations, Joomla is installed. Remember, we're never finished with the Joomla installation until we remove the installation directory from our web server. So we're going to tab back over to our FT application and we're going to delete the installation folder. And once our installation folder is deleted, we'll hop back over to our installation screen. First thing I always do is head on over to the administration logon and get logged in for the very first time. And there's our welcome screen and our main control panel where we have all of our global configuration items. We can also choose to preview our default website that's just been installed, and there we have a fresh copy of Joomla 1.5 via the web browser installation method.